And we're off.
All
Welcome
right.
back to Does It Resonate with You Tarot Time, which, as it turns out, we noticed that this is our 100th video.
Yes.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Woohoo!
Like, although, oh, yeah, right, because we do it once a week. Hello. I was like, how is that possible? We've been on over a year, but then I remembered we do it once a week.
Right.
So, well, actually, twice a week, right? Because now we're doing the Tarot Time video. So
Yep.
some weeks have 2 videos. Some weeks have more than 2. But
Right.
anyway, so this is video number 100, which I think is really awesome.
I
I
do too.
really love doing this show. And I really, we put this out there on today's episode as well, but um if you are interested in coming on and to having a chat with us on the regular episode, please let us know. We'll send you a link to sign up and schedule. We always record at the same time on Wednesday afternoons.
Yep.
It's 3:00 Central, 4:00 Eastern.
Yep.
And you make those other translations for yourself.
Right.
Because I could get it wrong, and there is that.
Right. Google it.
So and I am CST at the moment, but I will be CDT in a week or so. I
That's
think
true.
2 weeks or
We have
something,
that
right?
coming up.
Yep. I can't wait. I don't know why it makes me crazy when somebody writes, right now I've seen people, it's going to happen at 7 p.m. CDT. Wrong. But
right.
But that's me, like I can't walk in through the outdoor. You already know that. So anyway, moving on from that, let us know if you want to be a guest. We would love to have you. It doesn't really matter what you want to talk about as long as it's not politics or to convince us that religion is the way to go. You do you.
Yeah.
And we'll do us. But anyway, if you're a card reader or an energy worker or a therapist or a auto mechanic, whatever, like we'd love to hear from you. So let us know and we'll get that set up. Anyway, okay, moving on. So tarot time.
Tarot time.
And I love this. So we've got the strength card, which is
Yep.
from the major arcana.
Yep.
And then interesting, this is me, the Queen of Swords.
This is the Angie
no
significator
doubt
card.
It's my significator. And I believe that I recall discussing this card before because that's how we figured out it was my significator, right?
Yes. Yep.
So
that was actually a significant moment.
Right? And the fact that it came up again, I feel like
it was supposed to.
It was supposed to, that these 2 cards are meant for me. And by extension, I think that means they're probably meant for a good number of the people that my work resonates with, right? Like,
I would agree.
I mean, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I don't care to be, but I do know that there's a lot of people that appreciate me and what I do, and I appreciate them. And so if you're listening, take note of what John's going to tell us about these cards, because there is a very good chance that they are relevant to what's happening for you, and I'm excited. So let's just move on and get to it.
All right, let's jump in. So the strength card, as Angie mentioned, is in the major arcana. That means it's one of the more, it's got a little more weight to it in a reading. So the major arcana cards have a little more prominence, a little more pay attention. That you want to pay more attention to them. So strength card is literally quiet strength, influence, courage, and calmness. It's not bodybuilding strength, it's internal fortitude. It means you've got the kahunas, or whatever word you want to use for that. You have the internal strength to bear whatever needs to be borne. Let me read the mantra for this card. I deliberately bring my passion and strength forward, and I use them for good. I like that.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Yep. It represents persistence, composure. It signifies the ability to overcome challenges and have good determination, right? This card will come up in like, how am I ever going to get through this? And this card will come up and Spirit says, you have the strength. I will give you the strength to make it through. Draw on your internal fortitude and draw on that internal strength, and you'll get through it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because we forget that we have that internal strength, don't
Yeah.
we?
Yep.
When we're under it and under the thumb of whatever,
Yep.
or under pressure or stretched real thin, that fortitude, that that takes a back seat to a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And
You know, I think. Go ahead.
the problem with that is that when it reasserts itself in some rather, shall we say, destructive ways.
Hmm.
People who are stretched too thin have strong reactions,
Right.
right?
Right. That's true.
Um, they just do. I am well aware of that because that is how I roll. So, I mean, it just is how I roll. I work really hard not to be that way, but
Yep.
man, I mean, I remember I'm not so much this way anymore, but in the past, I would say, some poor sucker is going to catch it for all of you people. you know so whoever the last person is, the one that puts the
Put you over the edge.
the last finger on the scale, or the last straw on whatever it
Yep.
might be, you're gonna catch it for all of them.
Yep.
Like, it just seemed like. And what's interesting is, as I shift my energy, shift my attitude, um those things don't pile up like they once did. I mean, it can
Right.
happen still
I
now and
think
then, but
I think that is a manifestation of strength.
yeah, it is.
So
It
that's a really
is.
good example. That's a really good example of being
So,
able to draw on that strength.
yeah, sometimes you just don't have an option, right?
No, and
Because if you
yep,
don't, it creates things that haunt you.
right. You don't want to bury it. You don't want to suppress it and push it down, because, like you said,
No,
it'll erupt somewhere else and
may absolutely will.
be kind of a mess. Should I go
Not
on to the Queen of Swords?
absolutely, because it's my favorite.
All right, this is the Angie card. It's funny, whenever I do readings and the Queen of Swords come up, I just think Angie. And
Isn't that
honestly,
amazing?
yes, you've become a part of my readings now. So the Queen of Swords is the thought leader, unbiased decision making, being direct and seeking truth. She's like the no nonsense, tell it like it is, but do it with strength and power. So you can see both of these cards, we're hearing the word strength over and over and over again. Strong, strong, strong. And what are we looking at here? Strong women. I love these cards because they really embody the female power. And I think that's something that's coming up in our world, no matter how hard the white male establishment tries to squash it down.
There you
It's not.
go.
So more power to powerful women.
And
The
there's something about that energy of power that
Yeah,
that
the
it
feminine energy is amazing.
mhm.
The mantra for this card is very simple. I speak with wisdom and clarity. It just doesn't get more, concise and solid than that, right? I speak with wisdom and clarity.
That's um that's the
Um,
person I've grown into. So,
yeah, yeah,
uh
I like
that
that.
wasn't always me, but I've grown into it. So
Yep,
I can really appreciate this as a significator, and as it presented itself to me in the time when I mean, it speaks to the power of tarot, right?
yep,
That I heard it when I needed to hear it,
yeah,
and now take that and combine it with strength and put it together so that you can remember that you can accomplish everything that it is you want to do. That's
yep.
amazing.
So if these two cards came up in a reading, I would end up saying is, like, you're struggling with something, you need to draw on the power that you have, and then you need to book a session with Angie.
There you go. There you go. What if you are Angie?
So, okay, if I were doing a reading for you, Angie, and this came up, I would say, Angie, this is a reading that is talking so directly to you. Draw on that strength, my friend.
There you go. I think that's awesome, and I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
I think I would also point out that it is good to see other practitioners. I mostly deal with practitioners. Most
Mhm.
of the people
Yeah.
I work with are practitioners. Um,
You're like the healer's healer.
there you go, right? But we all have blind spots, right?
Yeah. I
That's why
agree.
you have to have a reading from John if you're me, or um, you know, from me if you're John, or
100%.
Val and Lisa and back and forth and whatever,
Yeah.
because we um it's that ego interference, right?
Right. I can
We
help
need somebody that can see beyond your ego interference.
100%. Couldn't agree more. I can do
So,
all I do my own tarot readings almost every day, and yet when I get a reading from someone else that will read for me, I learn so much more.
it's really interesting. Actually, it just came to me as you said that, because we hear so many of the people that we know who say, "Oh, I'm doing a reading. I do a reading for myself, and it keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again." Right? Like, and
Yeah.
I believe one of the reasons that you get the same reading over and over, and sometimes it's not necessarily the same cards, but it's the same reading.
Meaning.
It's the
Yeah.
same energy, right? One of the reasons I think is because that whatever it is, you're not taking action on it.
Right.
But the other thing to consider in a situation like that would actually be, am I encountering a blind spot? Is there something here I can't see?
You know what?
So,
You know what? I had I had the 7 of swords coming up again and again and again on like numerous readings. And I happened to mention it to one of my friends who is a professional reader. She said, "Oh, hang on, let's go do a reading for you right now." Bang. There it was. And she said, "This is what's going on." I'm like, "Wow, I'm glad I asked you that. Holy cow." So
right.
it was definitely a blind spot.
Yeah, see, so, but isn't it interesting because, you know, if I'm just guessing, you're getting it over and over again. You were frustrated. Why
Hmm.
can't I see? What does it mean? What's going on with me? What's wrong with me that I can't
Yeah.
interpret this? I do this all the time. I'm really good with these cards. I don't get it. I don't understand am I losing my like, I can
Right.
see where everything could just spiral out of control when it was as simple as having somebody point out your blind spot,
Yeah. That's really good.
right? And then I bet it stopped happening.
Yeah, you're right. It stopped right after that.
Yeah, it stopped happening. So, I mean, for as much as I will say that cards are just paper and ink, um they have an intelligence to them that
They're a
you
pretty
can't deny.
they're a pretty neat messaging system between you and the other side.
Yeah, right? Like, so draw on your strength, always tell the truth, get your ego out of the way, and have somebody help you move beyond your blind spots.
Yep,
That's the meaning of this right here.
absolutely. Speak with wisdom and clarity and draw on that internal strength.
Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John.
Yep,
I
thanks,
hope
Angie.
everybody that's listened to this 100th episode, the 100th episode, that's so exciting.
It is.
I don't see us stopping anytime. I love this. I love doing this.
I do too,
I
right?
mean,
Let's go
we,
for let's
you
go.
know, well, I remember you in the beginning. Oh, I can't wait till we get to 10,000 subscribers, which I was like, yeah, okay, John, that's
Hey, if I'm 75, so be it.
oh my God. How old will I be? Um,
That's
I
funny.
mean, is it, it's possible. It's what they call that, on YouTube. You got to figure it out, right? The
Yeah,
unicorn. It's the unicorn. You know, maybe there aren't that many people that want to hear what we have to say. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. I'm enjoying this, and for someday, um, for prosperity. Oh, look, we got a congratulations from Deb watching us on YouTube.
hi
Thank you,
Deb.
Deb.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, so you know what? I love it. It's fun. And it's a good vehicle for, I do have a lot of friends who don't want to get themselves out, are are afraid to put themselves out on video.
Yeah.
They don't want to be on camera. I would put it out there to anybody that's listening. If that's you, do this. Try this a couple of times. This
Yeah.
is a really easy way to get yourself on camera and get yourself used to it. I don't have that problem. I've been, but I had to I I had to get over it, right?
Mhm.
And what I did was committed to myself to doing Facebook Live for 1 hour every day for 7 days. And I
Huh.
got on Facebook Live and I talked by myself for an hour, whatever came up, gratitude and the blue
Wow.
sky and the pool and this and that and
Uh-huh.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I just did it every day for an hour. And then after that, I didn't have any trouble. I didn't have any of that,
Yeah. Yep.
when it came to getting on doing a live. So
Cool.
it's you can overcome it. You just have to try it. This is
Yep.
unknown. Once your ego gets used to it and understands that nothing can actually happen to you,
Hmm.
that's where the strength card comes in, right? Like draw
Indeed.
on that strength
That internal
and
strength.
come on and visit us and do this. It'll be fun. That's all. And
There we go.
we try not to run over time, but today we seem to. It's all
But
right.
that's okay.
We'll live. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks everybody for listening in. Thank you for participating. If you love us or if you don't, hit that subscribe button. Just, and we will see you next week.